Ding, ding, ding.
Have you noticed that the enter and exit sounds in Discord got a little update over Christmas? They have like a little bit more musical chime in the background now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know you've been playing this game way too long when you notice little shit like that on Discord.
So we're living large now, my friends. We've got little extra bits of chime.
Gotta go touch grass.
Well, everybody, welcome once again to the Loose Screws podcast, where fun stuff is almost certainly bound to happen.
Hard to come by.
Yeah, reports vary, but apparently fun is possible. And it is what episode? This is episode 267th for the 9th of January, the day after the 8th of January in 2025, or 33011.
You didn't give us enough of a prompt.
You didn't give us a setup. We have to say
that. All right, hold on. Let's start over. Welcome, everyone, to the Loose Screws podcast. I'm Commander Jantrax. We're going to do this again because, as we sometimes hear, fun is on the table. It's a distinct it's a non-zero chance of fun.
Comes in spurt.
Yeah, this is episode 267th. I'm still doing it wrong for the 9th of January in the year 2025.
Day 3311.
Okay. Whew. All right. So joining
that was
me tonight,
not worth the effort.
No.
No.
Should I?
We have so few traditions here. We have to hold to the ones we have.
Okay. All right. No, you're right. We should have higher standards. All right, guys. One more time.
Oh God!
No.
No. Everyone just clicked out and stopped listening.
Okay. Joining me tonight is Commander Ondaxius.
Yes, hello everyone.
And also Commander Oblivious.
Hey, I have a new Power Play 2 title. You want to hear it?
Yes.
I am now the undersecretary to the Rui Loose Screws adjacent undersecretary of undermining by the sole means of bounty hunting every other Tuesday.
Okay.
It has an acronym, but I can't really figure it out.
It just sounds like you're swearing.
It does?
If you say try to pronounce it. What would that?
No. It doesn't make sense. It's spelled DIPSHIT.
Oh, so you are swearing. We're taking Power Play so seriously. We do have this many levels of bureaucracy, just so you know. It's the kind of peek behind the curtain.
A question just about one question about being the dipshit. Does that mean you are only that on every other Tuesday, or does that mean what you're in charge of is what happens only on every other Tuesday, but you hold the title the whole time?
Yes.
Got it.
Well, titles are hard to come by around here. You have to hold on to the one you get. Yep. Yeah.
We have had quite a week here.
Yes.
And we're flying high on that. And I can't wait to do a little chit chat. So in store for you all today, dear listener, is a little bit of flying high in the world of, Elite Dangerous and what's been going on in our neck of the galaxy. And we'll catch up with what's going on with the faction as well. And planning on talking a bit of the same shit that everybody else is talking about, which is to say, kind of hopes and dreams, expectations, and threats about what FDev maybe has in store for this next year after the banner year that was 33010. So, what else have you been doing this week? Oblivious?
Well, let's see. Real life, I'm changing the battery in my iPad. That's a lot of fun.
Whoa. No,
Just
it's not.
finish that. Yeah, it's
That's a
not bad.
lie.
Is that physically possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
They don't. That does. It doesn't. It's not jerry rigged to blow up
No.
by Apple to void the
No.
warranty.
No.
No. Just got to be careful.
Yep.
About finished with that. And let's see. In game, well, I finally joined frat boy Leon Rui.
Oh, were you
Yeah.
somebody else before too?
No, I wasn't. I was holding off and watch. I was really thinking about becoming the Klingon wannabe. But no, I decided
Who's
to
that?
join.
Grom?
No, that's your guy.
Oh, Archon Delane. Oh, he's a
Yeah,
Klingon
Delane.
wannabe? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not his guy. That's not his guy anymore.
It is
Yeah.
not anymore. Yeah, but no,
I
I
defected.
decided to join the rest of my space buddies too. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
part
put
of
it
that on
best,
the 29th.
yeah. You put it best tracks. They present it as you can join any power to align with whatever belief you. It's like no.
Or whatever game mode you prefer. No, geography.
BS. It's geography, and if you want to play with your friends or not.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So that's going on, and I've been flying the Cobra, just loving that little ship. A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So what about Dex?
What about Dex? You know, I've never logged as many hours in the game, probably in a week, a calendar week, as I did this week.
But how many hours in the actual
As
chair?
a legally binding statement, I was at my desk for every hour logged in game this week.
Got it.
So help me God.
That is verified testimony.
No, I gotta be real. I legit probably played Elite more this week in a week than I have, and it was the push for V640. I am so jazzed.
It was a
I am
blast.
so pumped about what it's what's Power Play has become, because I had a sense when it got. Well, I'm kind of getting into it, but anyway,
Yeah.
I'll get more into that later. I've legit actually played the game, I think, just about every night. And, you know, at a certain age, in a certain phase of life, that's saying a lot, but I've just made time for it. I love it. Yeah. Real life
Magnificent.
besides, nothing else exciting except getting dragged into more house projects, including removing carpet that I swore I would not do. And yet here I am.
Fucking carpet, am I right?
Fucking carpet. Yeah. And then once it's out, you're like, why? This was so easy. Why didn't I do this 2 years ago? Yeah.
It really
When
is
you
the
put it down
easiest
in your
floor.
plate.
Who invented this? It's like a throw rug that's easily movable, washable, and serves the exact same purpose for a fraction of the cost. Does the exact same thing as carpet. Why did we invent this stuff?
Yeah,
Anyway.
Is that what's going in its place now? A throw rug?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap throw rug from Costco. Does the exact same thing. I'm like,
Wow.
what are we doing? Anyway, that's the life of Dax.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing? I want to get into the game. Let's keep chugging.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, for me, it was supposed to be
Oh,
back
yeah.
to work. It was
Oops.
supposed to be back to work. Oh, did you forget that I exist?
What about you, Trax?
It was supposed to be back to work week, but we
Am I
had
right?
snow here in the old Ohio, and that snow was significant. Now, for reference,
What's that mean? Clarify.
I don't think I got a snow shovel out last year. Maybe only once for one day the year before. So it was a significant storm. It put, I don't know, some probably at least 12 inches here. I didn't actually check the official. There were definitely drifts that were up over my knee. Pretty significant. Now I grew up in New England where we got plenty of snow, so I'm not a particular stranger from it, but I I don't really have time for it anymore in my life. I'm glad that we don't get much snow. Anyway, it was quite an operation. We live at the end of a cul-de-sac, and the plow when they come into our street, I guess they just think it's fucking fine to just put all of it on the end of my driveway.
Yes. Yeah.
They're just like, you know what? And they, my two neighbors that are also in the same little round end section of the cul-de-sac, they're like, they're fine, right? But it's just mine. They're just like, yeah, let's put this pile. So I had this pile that was like as tall as me before I got to it. I needed to move that over to the side. And then, of course, it's my duty to clean out where the curb drain is, or it's all just going to turn into ice the first night after it gets warm enough to melt any of it. So, yeah, I did that for a while. And then they actually went back to school on Wednesday instead of Monday. And now it looks like it's going to snow tomorrow. And they some of the schools have closed already, and they may be releasing my kid early. And so anyway, blah, 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 whatever. But it's whatever.
That is funny because I weirdly enough, I live in a cul-de-sac too, but in an area that will never get snow.
that Arizona snow. unless
there's a nuclear winter. However, living on a cul-de-sac, you realize what a wonderful, you have this little domain. It's like your little kingdom to live in. Unless it snows, in which case it's a big fuck you from the city. You deal with this snowbank that no one else has to. Yeah. You win some, lose some, but I love the cul-de-sac life otherwise.
Yeah.
And
we're well, I got rid of the Christmas tree today. I'd been putting it off because of the stupid snow. I don't usually let it stay. So here's the deal. Here's what goes on at my house. My wife likes short, fat trees. Okay, so when we go out to get a tree, usually it's not even like 6 feet tall. This one was probably about 5.5 feet tall, but it was at least 6.5 feet wide. It was now from the perspective of somebody who likes a fat tree
to describe that.
It is a masterpiece from her perspective, right? But it doesn't fit through the door. So we go and we cut the thing down after Thanksgiving, and they put it in they have a little net baler thing. So it gets things reasonably under control. Although it did take 2 guys to push this one through the net baler.
Jesus.
So I brought it home. I get it in the stand. I'm not stupid. I get it in the stand before I cut the net off. Right. I get it in the right spot. Then I cut the net down, and it's like taking up my whole living room. Right.
Yeah.
So she's like, "You got to get rid of that
puts a hole
today."
in the wall when the branches fall.
Right,
down.
exactly. There. so
knock you over.
I take it down like one clip at a time.
Yeah.
So I had to by myself take it out the door. The damn thing weighs a ton. The trunk was over 6 inches thick. God. Ridiculous.
Chungus.
And we buy local species and everything, so there's not like an issue. I can like put it outside. I don't have to worry about like doing something weird to the ecology in my woods behind my house or anything. So I just toss them out in the woods. So I don't want to, that's not landfill material. That's a tree.
No. Yeah.
So I drag it over the fence, jump over my fence, drag it into the woods. Anyway, it's over. It was annoying, and I just wanted you all to share in that with me for a second.
I bet you that didn't give you a single merit, did it?
I earned no merits during that task.
See, what are you doing, guy?
This is what I'm saying. Like you got to test these things, or you don't learn. Like for example, one of my tasks this week, now that I'm finished with the Christmas tree, is to sell exploration data in a particular system. I'm pretty sure that's still turned off because last time they gave me that task, I did it and it didn't work.
Big oof.
But they're still giving me this task.
Fucking
Frontier.
This game sucks. Jesus Christ.
And you know what else, since we're starting this off?
Yeah.
There was this thing came up on Lave Radio. Somebody mentioned maybe.
Yes, my favorite podcast.
If you shut up.
Tell me what they said. I didn't listen to
it. You didn't listen to it?
No,
really?
That's
what?
Sorry.
What are you doing? Anyway.
Sorry, Governor.
All right. So somebody suggested, regrettably, I can't remember exactly who it was. Suggested that maybe if you log in on Thursday after the Power Play cycle goes over, you're going to get your new tasks. Log in Horizons. And you'll avoid getting tasked with any of these bullshit Odyssey things where you got to go to a settlement and look through 100,000 containers and maybe find one of these things you're supposed to find 10 of. Right? So I was like, well, that's great. I'll log into Horizons. They won't be able to give me any of those because they won't exist. And then I'll be good to go. So I did the thing. And here's the thing, as I'll show right on screen now. See this one at the top? Recover goods from the Wolf 10 system. Yep. Those power goods are the ones that are in those fucking containers at settlements. which I got from logging into Horizons, which means if you're a Horizons player, fuck you.
Dude, okay. I'm sorry, Trax. I don't know how you thought that would work. There is zero chance that they took the time or effort to program in for the 3 Horizons players that are left that the game would parse out what's for them and what's not.
Yeah.
I'm amazed it's even in there at all.
It won't even parse out like whether all of the other tasks it gives you are going to be even remotely possible. There's no thought has gone into this.
Here's what I would have not been surprised at is if you log into Horizons to get your Power Play 2.0 assignments, you have one assignment and it says buy Odyssey.
Buy Odyssey, you dick.
And that's it. That's the only thing it tells you to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even that would have been more effort.
Yeah, it's a minor but stupid point of pride that one of my more upvoted comments on the Elite subreddit was someone asking if they should buy Odyssey, and basically me typing, Jesus Christ, it's been like 3 years. Highly upvoted. Yeah.
And what happens to our buddy Nurgle today? But he logs in and gets his weekly, and he has 5 Odysseys.
Come on. That's he rolled the 1. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yep, you got it. Yeah.
I have to buy it 5 times?
I could actually hear him uninstalling.
Does
the uninstall heard round the world.
That's the show title.
That's gonna be it, right?
That's it. Were you there? What were you doing the day Nurgle
when you heard it echo through the halls?
I was in math class. Oh my God.
Math class. Yep. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Hold on, I gotta do it with the apostrophe and everything.
Yep, that's it.
Around the world. Okay.
Should we do the Squab update?
Let's friggin' jump in. And you know what? Since we've been missing Chig lately, I'm gonna play the Chig version.
Yay.
So how about we do a squad update? Bang squadron update.
All right, who wants to handle this? I have sort of been paying attention.
I don't know. I can take it.
All right.
Okay, so best thing going on is the standing orders are back. So there's been a little meeting of the minds, various neighbors that we've had some difficulties with in the past. And I am avoiding the word agreement because it does trigger some people.
No, agreements are fine for factions.
Yeah, that's
don't let Audaxius intimidate you.
We measured out some very fine metrics of hypocrisy this week. And we can make agreements. We can make agreements for the minor faction. Somehow that's okay. Continue.
So more on that later. More on that later. Listen. But yeah, we've been figuring out how to play Power Play and BGS together. It's coming together. It's making more sense.
Yeah.
One of the big bugs that was in BGS since they introduced Power Play, which was expansion and retreats, were not working correctly. That's been resolved. So we're back in business. We're got 3 basic themes going on. One is to retake 3 systems that we lost through some of the shenanigans over the past few months, TT 58343, Maikoro and NLTT 1139 systems. The only reason we're taking 1139 back is because it's got some shiny doodad that one of our members is very fond of in it. That's ongoing right now.
Don't provide any more context. Please just leave
no. Let's leave it open at that. Okay. We got some systems to beat down. We're working on that. And, all of that information, I'm not going to spell out any more systems because I know that drives Chig crazy and I get embarrassed and bad pronunciations. But all that information can be found on our standing orders on the Loose Screws Factions channel. There's one other thing to keep in mind, though, if you're doing BGS work right now, there's plenty of conflicts to work on wars if you just want plain old pew-pew stuff. But you can also do a lot of power play stuff that does benefit Loose Screws from a BGS standpoint. And you can learn about that in our Discord. But there's one bug out there right now that you need to be aware of. It looks like if you were in a system that had a power at the time that Power Play 2.0 was released, and let's say you're the second place faction,
as in day one or day zero?
As in, let's say day one of Power Play 2 release. Yeah. So it has a power, and let's say you're the second place faction, and you're trying to move up in influence. Any influence that you gain through missions and or trade, it looks like all that influence goes to the controlling power and not for the power that you're working for.
The faction, you mean?
I mean, the faction, right, goes to the controlling faction. So that one it's probably been around from the beginning, but it's taken a while for folks to find it. And there's still some more testing, make sure that it is doing what it's expected. It looks like if you're turning in bounties, though, it's not affected by bounties. Exploration data has not been tested yet for that particular bug. So that's ongoing. And that's Squad Update.
Oh, bizarre.
Yeah.
That's one I was gonna pose the question about what the other bugs were. So yes, thanks for explaining that. Damn. Yeah. Well, anyway, factions are old news, but unless you like factions, in which case come work for ours.
In which case you just insulted them.
Yeah. I think people at this point, you know where you stand with the JN tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Remember, you're going to need them for colonization, though.
Yeah,
if you want to do it with your faction.
Right.
Well, God help Chig's nitpicking with names when we get to colonization, and he'd be like, all right, guys, we got some great work coming up in Sinufe, D, Tash, 5, TAC 17, TAC D45, SAC, TAC 175.
Did you say SAC?
I don't even. What are words? Yeah.
Words are hard.
All right. Words are hard, man. Words are hard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's there's a Galnet article what came out today.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to tell you about this juicy Galnet article. Empire accused of power grab in Federation's heart.
Yes.
The Imperial agents have been charged with attempting to seize political influence deep in federal territory following the Battle of Seoul. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit for this good quote. In recent weeks, there has been turmoil in Seoul as political, corporate, and military interests, missing an Oxford comma, come to terms with the impact of Titan Kosio's arrival, not to mention the civilian cost with billions of refugees still displaced in surrounding systems. Blah, 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 blah. But an unexpected element emerged with ports and outposts reporting a significant increase in positive imperial sentiment. This has been tied to Princess Aisling Duval in particular, currently enjoying a good reputation among non-imperial populations due to her work as a delegate to Aegis and a champion of humanitarian causes for those impacted by the Xeno War. Now let's see, I could go on, but the real news here is that Frontier has responded to an issue posted in the issue tracker with a Galnet article in lore Galnet article. And I couldn't be happier.
That is the best possible outcome.
As reported on a previous episode of this very, very important and reliable news outlet, the Loose Screws Network podcast, you cherished listeners will have been aware of the Frontier issue tracker post about how the Federation cries tears of pain as millions of control points are subtracted from Jerome Archer's grip on the Sol system following the Thargoid War, pushing literally every human being out of the system. All right. Somebody else talk about it, because I've about spent my charm here.
No, don't have anything to add. And we lost the player.
What? He muted. Something happened.
Yep.
Something's going on. All right. That's too bad. He was the one. He would definitely want to talk about this. It makes me feel like I should vamp for a second more. Anyway, I think that's fun. Obviously, this wasn't a bug, and Archer's supporters weren't going to get their control points restored. But they did take it back anyway, didn't they? Didn't they win that fight?
I have never sipped sweeter tears of hurt fifis. In 7 years of this game, I have never experienced Schadenfreude as intensely as this week.
Didn't Archer
Didn't
Archer take back Sol anyway?
He did. My favorite takeaway from this is, well, two-sided. One is we wrote that story. However, they did take a kind of subdued tone in the Galnet article, kind of describing it as maybe kind of subterfuge. And it's like, no, there was a raging war in Sol. Archer alone had over 10 million control points, which with the ratio to merits is over 40 million merits.
Oh God, yes.
And this was an open conflict. So, I mean, yeah, they're going to weave it into the whole narrative in a way that they think makes sense. But we're writing the story now. And just in my lifetime in the game, I mean, there's people who've been playing a lot longer than me. I started playing the game, coincidentally, the week that Galnet died back in, 2018, 2019? They did some shtick for New Year's and then silence for a year and a half. So I've seen the thing go from that to now we're basically handing them the narrative. I love it. It's the fruition of a thing. It's like the way I described Power Play before, that they've given us this mortar between all the bricks that just sticks and it lets us build things. And now it's in the lore. Like we put something in the lore. And, much to our shame, it was the Fedneck fucks that got to put their name in the lore. But that's fine. What it means is there are going to be pushes.
Ashley putting up a fight, though. She wasn't involved in that system in any meaningful way before. So.
But talk about like getting things in line and getting things established now that this system is not going to stagnate and become but the useless vestige that PowerPoint 1.0 was. We know there's a lot more to this system, and it's going to be a lot more integrated into the game, because just a few months in, we're already pushing Galnet articles out that are writing the story of the game. So I'm all for it. Like, I hope another big conflict breaks out. I hope there's some subterfuge, someone attacks someone somewhere, and they can, we can help push the narrative in ways that wouldn't mean as much if it was just Galnet articles talking about things that aren't even in-game assets. We can see basically on an hourly basis how a war is going. That's so much more engaging than, oh, did you read the Galnet article about the thing that may or may not exist as an in-game asset? It's kind of like putting meat on the bone. I love it. I'm so happy.
Cool.
And hold on, let me check my bank account. And yes, my shill White Knight check just cleared from Frontier. Okay, good. Cool. Let's keep going. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in arcs?
Hmm?
Did it come in arcs?
Oh no, I wish it's frontier stock.
Okay.
Sorry.
Way less valuable.
That's a mean joke. I shouldn't say
Haven't
that.
they recovered a little bit?
Yeah,
by now?
no, they're actually that's actually a very outdated joke. I think they're doing a lot better.
Yeah, and on that topic, as everybody else is mentioning, and so why don't we get to? I felt like we should get to do it too. A banner year, coming
Yes.
from.
Applause.
I think everybody pretty much across the board had basically zero expectations and, potentially fear that it might actually come to an end. And instead, we got what 2024 turned out to be for Elite. So, 4 new ships, the engineering rebalance, if you want to call it that, Power Play getting completely redone, and the new feature didn't quite make it into this year, but coming quickly and already kind of demoed to us a little bit is the colonization feature. I'm probably forgetting something. I mean, there was the whole Thargoid War, but that was going on beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and quality of life improvements.
What? What did you mean in general?
Mats, engineering. Did you mention that?
Engineering rebalance. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a huge quality of life thing, yes, but and much long overdue kind of thing. So, so we're feeling good. We're feeling good. We're riding high. Things are working out. Updates are coming in at a fairly regular cadence, and they've had a lot of stuff on them. So, looking forward, what do we wish? What do we expect? And I kind of, to structure this, I kind of thought maybe we'll just take turns doing one thing and kind of discussing it, rather than like, here's my stack of stuff, because I feel like we're gonna want to talk about them and we're gonna overlap a lot. In this way, they're kind of all everybody's. So I'll start off and say, okay, so the ships have been fantastic. I think honestly, 4 ships in a year is a pace that will be is too much. Not like we as players can't handle it, but like you have to keep putting that in the game. There's already been adjustments that they made to shipyards, which I think are to do with that. Like shipyards can now have 21 things available or something, whatever it was, that patch note thing that was sort of weird. I just think coming up with 4 ships a year, that's not enough. But ships are great, so what if we get 1? Or maybe expand it, 1 vehicle. I don't know. What do you think?
I'd be happy with 1 or 2. Or, I mean, they go a different route and we get something like the Panther Clipper, which is a new class of ship. Can't go through the mail slot, has a different docking mechanism, something like that.
It's got like a docked T9 or something.
I think they're going to metric out new ships based on how well they sell, to be honest. Because the early access thing gives us the option, doesn't screw people out. I mean, there's a 3-month window. And if they're selling like hotcakes, I mean, just player engagement alone, you got to take guesses at what the finances are. And I actually just pulled the chart up. From July 24 to January 25, the peak number of players in July 24 was sitting about just under 5,000. It's up over 8,000. So, I mean, not quite double, but that huge boost, consistent boost since Power Play came out, since the ships came out. And they've got some guy in financing, and he is crunching numbers. And if they've got if early access is enough incentive for people, you could see 4 a year. Because it's not going to matter about like...
What about how they fit into the game and the narrative and the menus,
we all know that the old ships are going to get obsolete because the STO drives the new hotness.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the more of these you add, I mean, the Cobra, is there hardly a use anymore for any of the other small ships? Just a couple of them, right? That have something that you can't do better in a Cobra?
Yeah.
5?
It makes me wish you could exchange ship kits. If you're never going to use one again, you could take it off an old ship, because my Cobra Mark III.
That is not how money works.
I wish it did.
Sweet summer child.
I'm never going to touch my Cobra Mark III again after the home run that is the Cobra Mark V. And so that ship kit just sits there. Yeah.
Speaking how money works, I mean, that's what I'm really hoping we'll see. We're not going to be able to see the detail when their financials come out, but I'm hoping we'll see
we'll get a clue.
It's going to be at least 1 or 2 a year. Like they have to have done enough sales of the early access for that. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's more of a metric than how it fits in lore or not, because that's got to be driving a lot of sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm concerned about how many they'll get to be. Just over time, it'll just the build up. It's just like there's.
Would you care? Would it bug you if there were too many ships?
I mean, I could be convinced. I'm worried about it. I'm concerned, and I'm concerned about what it would be like for people. Like I know all the ships already with reasonable detail.
Yeah.
But for somebody just starting out, and it's just like, oh my God, like look at this list.
Well, here's the deal. Would you ever tell someone to buy a Python versus a Type 8?
I've never flown a Type 8. I didn't buy one.
What?
I probably wouldn't tell anybody, but no, I would tell them. I would definitely. I have never flown it. I understand that it would be the one to suggest to somebody, but I don't haul it. So.
I love the Type 8.
If I ever haul, I'm sure I'll get a Type 8.
It's got big arms. You can see the thrusters, and love it.
Maybe when colonization comes around.
Yeah.
If you've never flown the Python and you just get in a Type 8, you don't have a great appreciation for it.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
Then, you get this dirt.
Well, it's a lot more money, right? Which one's more money?
I think the Type 8's more money. The other thing, if they're trying to weave it into the game lore, feel, mechanics, is just colonization. If they release colonization and give us the Panther Clipper that can call, 1,100 tons, but the numbers they set for colonizing a system are according, and you've got to have fleets of Panther Clippers going in, they're going to sell fleets of early access of fleets of Panther Clippers with early access. That's just going to happen. There's enough positive sentiment with the game. I feel that a lot more purse strings are going to loosen because they've delivered consistently for last year in the way they hadn't in probably years. So you hear that, FDev? Panther Clipper. Do it.
All right, something else. What else?
Yeah.
What else you want? Or expect?
Can I be naive?
Yeah.
I want.
I mean, what are you asking me for? You do it constantly.
Power Play. Can I be dumb for a second, guys? I want Power Play and how well and widespread it is with the gameplay loops. I want it to give us the additions to Odyssey that never happened.
Like
guns. The guns. Suits, right? Like we have not received a new gun from Odyssey literally since the release. We don't have a ballistic sniper rifle. We don't have like a formidable real anti-ship gun, like anything. It's just anything. They all came out with Odyssey. There aren't any new ones. A suit that matches your power for arcs, right? One of the coolest Odyssey suits in the game that you can't get is worn by Imperial soldiers. It's a badass design. I don't operate in Imperial space, so I've only seen it a handful of times. Why is that not available for like Ashling Duval supporters? It's an asset already in the game. So if you make an ARCS pack of like Power Play specific suit, gun, whatever for Odyssey stuff, like just sell it. Do it. I'd love to see more like Power Play specific Odyssey stuff. You can encounter Power Play soldiers in settlements. They have I think they have the symbol of the power in their armor, but it's not really obvious. But it's like give us a on foot conflict thing that's not just the standard weird control point thing that came with Odyssey, and put it out on the planet's surface. Don't stick it out on a settlement. Have it be like a war zone, and you can go do more of that. And I've seen that the sense of earning merits, and it's not just for personal progression anymore. You can see that it contributes, is really pushing people into the Odyssey gameplay that I never saw people have rhyme or reason for before it came out. It just was this abstract thing. But it's the merits and the control points that gives it's like that is the binding between the two gameplay styles that was totally missing. And Odyssey was just this balloon floating out there on its own. And it now actually means something. Moving power play goods can move a ton of merits, especially if that's your weekly task. So it's things like we've all been talking about fleet carrier interiors for years. Like, why have they not been selling that to us? We would buy it. There's a lot more people doing Odyssey gameplay now because it can be super effective, especially if you pair it with your power's ethos or what the enemy power's weakness is. That's a dynamic that people should be keeping in mind. Give me a Li Yongri operator suit that I can wear that has like the symbol on it. I'd shell out for that shit. So I really want that.
Gross.
Yeah, get out of here.
Okay, so you're telling me that I should go do this task that I've been given that tells me I have to go get Odyssey
I've
goods?
loved the Odyssey stuff since day one. It's really it's much more fun with friends because it turns from a task into shenanigans, but it all contributes and it can contribute in a way that really moves a lot of numbers. So I hope that they give us more of that personalization on the Odyssey side of things. Maybe even, for God forbid, a new gun. I'd love it. So that's what I'm hoping to see. And I think if the ships they're making are moving enough, I hope they realize other assets could move pretty well too.
In support of Power Play 2, because it's very quickly moving to management by spreadsheet, kind of hoping they open up the logs and start putting that information into the logs so we can get some third-party app support. I don't think they're going to do anything yet.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, then it would enable more opportunities to use what I have coined the ultimate elite shit talk, which is when you tell someone, check the logs, bitch.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean,
peak
the game must be keeping track of it somehow, but I guess, we haven't seen anything attached to that. Huh, okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that a thing you're calling out?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm calling
Oh, okay.
out. Yeah. Open up the logs.
Open up the logs.
Open up logs or start putting some type of management tools in for Power Play. Flying around and filling in spreadsheets is not fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of managers, I want a ship loadout manager of manager.
Oh, God,
yes.
Ship loadouts. Right. The way that Odyssey suits work, just rip that Band-Aid off and do that. And I know, like, we just got our massive module storage or whatever, which makes it seem very much like they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, just like, how did somebody put it? I can't remember who this was, but like working on, you know what? It was probably Art on the stream, and or the various people from Frontier on the stream. They talked about what am I saying here? Working on the parts of Elite that slow you down or make you want to exit the game. Maybe it wasn't how they said it, because that doesn't sound like something that you would say about the game that you work for on your on your publicity stream. Maybe I'm mixing something up. I feel like they said a lot of stuff about caring for players' time and things like that. But it must have been somebody not for Frontier that put it the way I'm remembering, which is to say the things that make you want to exit the game to either get information or because you're just bored and fed up and you want to do something else because you're waiting and working on those things. So like kind of the shipbuilding is a ton easier now that I have 600 modules of storage. But I did spend like a long time, like hours plural, more than 1 hour, taking all the modules off of all of my storage ships and a bunch of my non-storage ships, because like all those optionals I want just like on the table to be put into any ship. And
that's when you discover the store multiple button. Too bad it doesn't work in reverse.
That's when somebody pointed out the store multiple button, which did speed up the second half of my ships a little bit. But yeah. Just the loadout. Cobra 5, here are my 3 loadouts that I like for Cobra 5. Bam. I'm never using those modules in more than one ship at a time because I can't fly more than one ship at a time. So why does it matter?
Yeah.
Yes.
The other part would be I pay a guy full time to sit on my fleet carrier to apparently manage the cargo.
Oh, you could install it as that's it. A new module for your fleet carrier. You have to buy that.
Could he possibly manage to move the tritium from the cargo bay
Just
to the gas
shovel it
tank?
from one side to the other. Yes.
I pay him full time. What is he doing?
Yeah. Fleet carriers just came up. You can remote control them to schedule jumps and stuff like that. So definitely should be able to, if they're not going to do instant ship transfer stuff, you should be able to program your transfers. So you're against instant transfer?
And I am absolutely against instant transfer, but I
kind of think the ship loadout thing would eliminate that, right? Like if you did the ship loadouts, you would eliminate transfers entirely.
Also,
right.
Because I've always loved that the game makes you feel distance. And they use time to do that, but now it's cool with the SEO drive. They also use heat and fuel. But the only addendum to I don't want anything changed about ship transfer times. I do want to be able to send ships in advance.
Yeah,
that's the only
send ships in advance.
I don't care if it even takes longer.
Inarguable.
Yes.
Inarguable.
Yeah. So that's
just push, not just pull. Yep.
Yeah. And I think it was Arf on stream and the tracks. I think the way he said it, he's like, we're really trying to look into the parts of the game that suck. So, oops.
Yep. No. That's canon. He said that.
Well, I've done so many I think when the game uninstalls, it sends them a thing registering that someone has done it. And I've been sending them so many of those. They've got this spike and they're like, shoot, everyone's unhappy. What are we going to do to fix it? So
then Dav's there in the back, the smart guy in the room going, hold on, everybody. It's not everybody. It's just this one asshole.
Just so the listening audience is clear, every time I stop playing Elite, I fully quit playing the game and I uninstall it. I then every time, and then have to figure out to get it back on my computer to play again if I choose to start playing the game again. But that skews the average of the data to Frontier.
You're really throwing off the whole data. And actually, now that I think of it, that explains your tendency to become AFK in an instance because you had to step away, but you didn't want to have to uninstall, which you would have to do if you quit. So here we are.
Yeah, and if you. And I'm trying to get it set up so that the game thinks I'm still in instance if I've uninstalled. Then I can hold an instance forever.
Well, that would be cheating. That would be
forever. And
hacking,
years
for sure.
Years from now in the future, Elite is shutting down. It's a big final farewell. And out there, somewhere in the black, lonely Daxi has been AFK for 16 years. And he is the last of the last commanders in Elite Dangerous, and that will be it.
And that will turn out to be Raxla the whole time.
That guy was right. I really am a moron.
Hope you get stuck in a braving tunnel forever.
Forever and ever. Amen. Oh Lord, I've got something that I do not want to see in Power Play in the coming year.
Interesting.
Do you want to know what I don't want to see?
Oh, okay. Let's do this now.
I don't want to see. Oh God, Oblivious! Did you turn into a robot?
Did I?
Nope. You're good.
He was just putting the microphone down because he knew you were going to go.
I don't want to see agreements.
Whatever do you mean by that, Audaxius?
What I mean is the exact same state of affairs that ground Power Play 1.0 into
Power
a static...
Ploy, that's what the old one was called.
PowerPoint 1.0 into a static, boring, sterile vestige of a gameplay system that it did. I do not care about your headcanon or your roleplay. This is a game for power. Power is something that is seized with force, whether by trade or combat or exploration. The agreements you make in Power Play are made in control points. So, you hear that? Anyone who wants to come up with their, I gotta get diplomacy with my neighbors and carve out my little space in the bubble, you carve it out with bullets, friend. There are no agreements between lions and men. So, for anyone listening that thinks that they're going to carve out their neat little space where they could do their business and have their little power, eat shit.
So
buddy.
agreeing to not take a particular system so that the other power agrees to not take this other system of yours.
I won't take yours yet. Get stuffed, Antal. If you can take your hippie juice and choke on it. I am here for power. If I want to get my little player minor faction and do that in a system, fine, I'll go do BGS. I am playing for keeps. And if you want to disagree with me, do it in control points, bitch. Daxie out.
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. We have fun here. We're horsing around, right?
We have a lot of fun.
Just to make it clear what the Loose Screws podcast position is on this rant of Audaxis is right here. Our official position is 100% agreement. Power Play is a PvP enterprise.
Yes.
And if we if we stumble into some system that one power that let me phrase it like this. If some commanders who fancy themselves to be the leaders of a Power Play power, pause for effect, decide that they're going to agree to not attack each other's systems, that doesn't govern us. And you're joking if you think you govern your power.
Yes.
Power Play discords and stuff like that. You guys can choose to focus your attention in certain areas. We will not be participating in any agreements. And I mean, I think I could say, I don't see why I shouldn't say, if we detect there are some agreements, we're probably going to try to disrupt them just because they exist.
We are the Sparta.
I think that's perfectly fair.
Yep. We are the Sparta of Liang Ri. You can neither contain nor control us. You can possibly benefit from us, but that's up to us.
Yeah, we will take stuff if we manage to, and we'll lose systems if somebody manages to take them from us. Mm-hmm. And those are the only rules.
Those are the only rules. And for everyone else, there's solo.
Well, Power Play still exists in solo.
Oh, yeah, sure. I do hope they get rid of that. That's actually something else in the new year. I hope they make it open only.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think it'll matter nearly as much as people assume it would. It's symbolic, you know. I understand the symbolism of people, you know, quote unquote hiding in solo. Yeah. But this galaxy is humongous. I've been flying all my Power Play in open, and I have seen other commanders, literally only 2 or 3 commanders have I seen that weren't like you guys.
Yep. What I sincerely hope is that the little fleeting vestige of control that someone that controls a Power Play Discord feels evaporates. Just dust in the wind after a little agreement falls by the wayside, and the trust erodes, and the play for power continues. So
I don't think the discords themselves are illegitimate.
Shakespeare said it himself. He said, gather ye agreements as ye may, I think.
On Discord.
And he was talking about Power Play on Discord.
Or was it merits? I don't know.
Anyway, I don't think Power Play Discord organizations are illegitimate in the sense that, you know, it's fun to focus, be a player and focus your attention in the same place that other players are focusing their attention. So just as a place for people to gather and kind of decide things and decide what they feel like going for at the time, that's all well and good. But if they're gonna, you know, if the phrase like, oh, you know, be aware, we have this agreement with Antal to not take that system, so please watch out. Don't be doing your merits in that system. that might be the only place I play for the next week.
Yeah,
So
you're going to be met with
don't go telling me that.
Yeah, you're going to be met with the gif of that guy, I think it's Futurama, the guy saying, "Oh, you're serious? Oh, in that case, let me laugh even harder."
Right. Exactly.
We play for keeps, boys. Yeah.
Now for something completely different.
Yep.
Has been mentioned by several other people in on podcasts and YouTube and stuff like that. The shadow / lighting system. It's always been weird, but it's particularly weird, and a couple of bugs creeped up partway through last year. Flickery, shadowy stuff, shadows popping in and out. It's really bad. And then just more globally, I've always kind of noticed this, the tendency of the game engine to decide where the global illumination is coming from. I understand that it can really only draw it from one point, right? In a system, it's going to be the main star. That's going to be the primary source of light. It would be nice if you could have more than one, because there are systems where that would matter, right? Where the primary star is like a neutron, but then there's like a very large, like, main sequence star there. That's totally, anyway. The thing I'm like watching the shadows flicker right now as I'm talking about that. The weird thing is, and you can observe this yourself if you want to, all stellar bodies, you don't see this so much in like the local space, but if you're anywhere, you can see this in Super Cruise too. The lighting on stellar bodies is the same as the lighting on your ship, regardless of where the body is. So if your ship, I'm passing along, I'm orbiting a gas giant, for example, with moons. And those moons are not occluded by the gas giant, right? So they are in starlight. If my ship passes into the shadow of that gas giant, the moon will now be in shadow. Okay? So the game calculates whether bodies are in shadow or not based on the point of the observer, which is weird. And I would just love if that got fixed.
Yep.
Because it's stupid.
Yeah, I think Burr called that out in his video, yeah?
I think so. And obviously the flickering shadows is probably like a more immediate and pressing issue. And it's a newer bug, but whatever.
Well, I just know that Frontier is more likely to listen to our podcast than his video, but I'm glad he added it on. I'm glad in case they get to looking at Burr Pit too. Because it's more irons in the fire kind of thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, somebody else, what do you want?
Well, let's fix the Braven tunnels and the stuck limpets too.
If there's ever a time to address networking, it's when you've almost doubled your player base.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, and it's been a while, so you're gonna run off all your new players. Fix it.
Yeah.
Has it been since the Mandalay entered the game? Is that when it all went weird?
I think it's been since Power Play came out. It's just the number of people in the system.
Isn't that the same time?
Oh,
Mandalay and Power Play was the same update, right?
I wouldn't know. I was so busy doing Power Play, I didn't buy one.
You didn't buy a Mandalay?
I didn't know. I'm waiting for it to come out in the game.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I bought the arcs for it, and then the Cobra came out. And I was like, "Oh, I'm getting that shit."
Yeah,
so
they were really close together. I think I'm right about that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it was a while ago at this point, and there's been another update since. So kind of felt like it was sort of like they were waiting a few days for it to stabilize, and then they all just went, I wonder if they'll just accept that, but it is rough, and it comes and goes too. So it's clearly traffic related, right? Because like on the weekends and the evenings, weekends it is the worst. Ugh.
I haven't had it too terribly. Also the region specific stuff.
It's like how Power CZs don't work in
North
open.
American commanders that don't get Power CZs in open or private group.
Yeah.
So what was it yesterday? So there was a little test on it. It was pretty interesting. So person in South America winged up, went into the CZ, winged up with someone with North America, and it worked.
So we got pulled into an instance controlled by them.
Yep. North America can be pulled into an instance from anywhere else in the world except North America.
Interesting.
Can you get a VPN and like get the same effect?
Well,
Yeah.
Does that work?
I don't know.
Lag death. I'd love to see rubber banding.
VPNs can be fast.
What's the rubber banding if I'm playing from Tibet?
It doesn't actually route your traffic to Tibet, though, right? It just flags it, or I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works.
I'm not a computer guy.
What are these computers?
I just play one on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like that, like connection. And I say that so easily. I'm sitting here in my computer chair. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But the connection stuff, if they can like type keyboard, press button, and make work, like then I would be happy.
It's been suck since the Mandalay update. It was really bad on the day. They did something and it got a little bit better, but then it's just stayed the same, which is like, sometimes you're waiting in most of the time between stars. It seems like you're waiting but an extra minute or so. And just weird. And the limpets, and the friggin' limpets are still not fixed. They just sit there sometimes. And when it happens, I've been trying so hard to figure out like how can I like sort of crack this free, you know? And what I found is I just try to like scoop things at the same time as the limpets are working. But when they quit on me, I can't scoop things. It's like the problem is with the cargo hatch, not with the limpet or something. Like the limpet is hovering there because the cargo hatch won't accept the cargo. Because I'm pretty good at fuel scooping, right? Or not fuel scooping, scooping cargo. And I was like yesterday, this was still happening.
I thought someone figured out that it has to do with that information getting communicated from the game server.
Well, I mean, that would make it related, right?
It is a delay.
It's not like anything related to the movement of the limpet. It's like there's a delay between the limpet registering that it's deposited it and when the game shows you that it's happened.
It's got a pretty low priority on the information going through the system. So I've tried the same thing. I tried what you talked about, tracks, and the only thing I found that works reasonably, what it works all the time. It's just time. Now, of course, you're being attacked. That doesn't work. But I've also found that I'm being attacked
shielding
by
my
pirates.
limpets from enemy fire with my ship by positioning it broadside.
What I do, I just fly off. I take off. The limpets stay with me. The other ships eventually give up, and I eventually collect everything that's hovering below my ship. But it makes me really wonder: is it just traffic related? With all the new users out there, if it was, it'd be an easy fix. It's going to cost money. You got to buy more server time, but I wouldn't think they would be holding back on that right now.
There's got to be more to it than just that. I mean, maybe
think so.
it's related, but then there's something funny that changed, you know, because Anyway,
I mean,
probably.
It'd be a really cheeky in-joke. They update the NPC dialogue where the pirates are like, all right, let's see what you've got in your hold. No, wait, hold on. Nope. Hold on.
I think they're working now. Oh, no, wait.
Keep holding. Okay, now give me 10 tons.
There's just so much spaghetti code in this. You make one little change and now
this could all be over in 2 hours if you would. This could all be over in 2 hours if you just gave me 10 tons of biowaste.
So I've also noticed, speaking of limpets, and I don't know if this is the same bug or if it's actually, but the hollow screen hacking thing, sometimes a limpet won't attach, and it'll start to go near the hollow screen, and then it will sort of get in position, and then it will slowly drift off in a steady straight line away from the hollow screen, and eventually it will fail, just run out of limpet time, you know? And that hollow screen, I've tried a bunch of different limpets. Like basically, if that happens to a hollow screen, it means that hollow screen's inaccessible.
Oh, you never can get it.
I never get it. So I've come where I could get 3 of them and there's one that doesn't work. I've come where, 3 of them didn't work and 1 of them did. All kinds of different things.
Would be related.
It's a limpet doing it.
Yeah.
Now I've not spent the time to try menu logging and see if they changes which ones activate, because I've just been like, well, I'll hack a couple of these on my way through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I haven't like put pen to paper and written down what it was, so I couldn't tell you like. But those are also kind of messing up. Now it's a brand new mechanic, and I don't know, maybe it's just a little fishy. It's also funny to me how like sometimes all of the holo screens are available as white box targets, and sometimes there's a bunch of them that aren't. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but sometimes at stations there's holo screens that just don't have a target, like it was the old days. Sometimes they all do, and then other times it's kind of a mix. So it's like I take it as like some of these are just not hackable for some reason. Or
yeah, I've noticed a weird mix of stations that just don't, and it's only orbital stations. It's just they don't have any.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
The outposts always have them, at least one.
I had my first one today that I couldn't get a limpet attached to it, and I fired about 3 of them at it until I figured out I was shooting collector limpets at it. So,
and they're like, "I'm trying, boss. I'm trying."
Take the sign with you, Oblivious. That's theft. They're not free. It's not like ducks. People don't know a duck at the park. The ducks are free. You can just go take them.
I knew that.
Yeah, but
I just
you
never
can't take that home with you. Yeah. The little limpet's like, I'm trying, boss. Come on. Oh Lord. Yeah. It's little housekeeping stuff like that, and they've got to be. They've got to see the numbers, and they've got to be working on something.
I hope so.
This is the point.
It's about time. What's the 9th here? I hope it's about time for people to come back to work. Right.
This is the point. If this were a movie where it hard cuts to the Frontier offices and they're just there like feet up on their desk playing like paper football, not doing anything.
They're all there. They're just not paying attention.
They're just doing nothing. Yeah.
Oh, well, hold on,
Terminator.
What happened?
I need your clothes, your bike, and your guns.
No, he said your clothes and your motorcycle.
Oh, that was it. Yep.
Anyway, I think you're unroboted.
Oblivious will be back.
Is it better now?
Yeah,
it's better.
Okay, I got to keep the volume low. I'm learning. If I raise the volume, it bots. So I'm wondering if we're done with alien protagonist. I hope not. I hope we see some form of an alien protagonist again this year.
Oh God. I don't.
I don't. God, an alien.
I don't think. If I see another Palpatine gif that goes nowhere, I'm gonna like bang my head against the wall.
I know.
How do you tease us with Salvation for a year and a half, and then
longer?
And here's the deal.
It's like a 3-year war.
They didn't even wrap up that loose end. So in theory, it's in the lore. It's coming, maybe some future thing. Then don't tease it now and kill the buzz, man. It's timing. It's all timing.
Let us forget about it or something. Too much was said about it for us to ever forget about Salvation, about Sojin and the people and all this nonsense about the people who are apparently, unless you're an Alliance citizen, still in like medical prison, right? I've not heard that they released them. So, yeah.
So the Alliance is full of sleeper agents, and
everybody else just has all the sleeper agents in one room.
The Empire will just quietly convert them into slaves. And the Federation will grind them into like Soylent Green or something because they're evil fascists. Yep.
Yeah, I would like to see some stuff about that. It's okay to give it a rest. It's okay to give it a rest for a little while, but I do think the tease level was rough.
Yeah. I hope for you, Trax, that someday your Guardian hybrid war theory thing plays out just for your sake. I know how happy you would be.
Yeah. Even if the Thargoids aren't involved, the Guardians should be a bad guy, because right now I think everybody thinks about them as being on our team. And the thing is, they never were, right? They were dead.
Be clear with your terms. This could be cool. It would not be the Guardians that are the bad guy. It would be the Guardian AI that they themselves succumb to.
Yeah.
would be the
well,
bad
exactly.
guy.
Yeah. It
And
wouldn't
I
actually be aliens, but they could
I think
also,
it's
I mean,
pretty
you could write the story any way you want. They could eventually turn up, right? We could find that they actually do exist somewhere, a small amount of them or something like that. And they just ran and then did change the data so that the AI wouldn't be able to chase them down and find them or so. You know what I mean? You could write that story.
whole
Coming
sectors
for
of the
all their
galaxy
stolen
still
relics.
Yep, it's whole sectors of the galaxy still locked off.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
Yep. Well, a man can dream.
Yeah. Here's something really unimportant, but this has been a nitpick I've had with this game since day one. And since we're asking for things, I'm going to talk about it. This is my personal project. Okay, so you know the menu, menus like on your left and right hand panel, nav menu, for example, it's a scrolling list. I'm scrolling up and down it right now, all these locations and systems. That should behave like a picker, like a number picker menu on your phone, on like a phone or a tablet, right? Where your choice is in the middle and it's like a slot machine wheel, right? You're scrolling it up and down. The wheel is rolling underneath the cursor. Do you know what I mean? Instead of the cursor going up to the top and then down to the bottom and scrolling, it should always be, the cursor should always be in the middle, and I should be able to see the 6 or 7 things on either side of my cursor at all times. Follow me?
I have absolutely zero idea what you're talking about.
Are you serious? You can't
Yes.
picture this right now? Or do you have the game on right now?
I do.
Okay, so if you look at your nav panel,
Yep.
and I'm scrolling up and down this list, and my cursor it scrolls, it goes up, and when it hits the top, it starts scrolling up. When it hits the bottom, it starts scrolling down.
Mm-hmm.
When I scroll,
I know what you mean. Okay,
the
that would be nice.
list should move. The cursor should stay in the middle.
I got it.
It
Yeah,
would
that
make
be
it
nice.
so much easier to use when I'm dropping in and I'm trying to find the ship log uplink and the things are all moving around because it's based on distance.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about that is a little fishy, but the point is, if you could see a few on either side of the cursor and the cursor wasn't fucking jumping around under me, then it would work much better.
Yeah,
that's just a little like
you.
it's a completely better menu system.
Yep.
How hard could it be?
Oh my goodness.
Just press a button. Well, only one menu related thing I would change, and I would legit pay money for this. Why, when I schedule a fleet carrier jump that can't happen, does the game log me all the way back out to the menu? Basically.
Yeah. It's basically
It basically logs you out
gotta
to the
install it
menu.
again to try a different
I have
system.
to then reinstall the game to try to get a fleet carrier jump that works.
Yeah, because
all you need to do is, if it's not going to happen, is I stay in that screen and a little box comes up that says no. And then I just select it from that same screen.
Yeah,
it
just,
is.
Oh my God.
Oh
I want to go near
God.
Deciat. Oh, there's no room. Oh, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let me go back to the menu.
Here.
Let me type Deciat again. Let me let it zoom all the way over. Now let me
Reinstall.
scan.
Yeah.
Scan for another nearby system. Well, let's try this one. Oh, that doesn't work either. Okay, hold on. Back over to the other side of the bubble.
Let me reinstall Windows just so I can try another fleet carrier jump. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we understand that it's difficult because of the system reservation, spreadsheet thing that's going on with the server database, blah, 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 that you can't always have the correct answer of whether there are slots before we push the button. I get it. I'm willing to accept that that's a limitation of the system that we're dealing with when you shoehorned fleet carriers into them. Okay. Just don't make it bounce us all the way out.
Yeah. That's
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Oh my God. Okay. There's a bunch of the new menus that went in to do with Power Play. Almost none of them does the menu back bind actually work on. And I don't, like, some people probably that don't play with the HOTAS maybe haven't realized this yet, but I think a controller, I think it would affect you with a gamepad.
I think I've noticed this sometimes.
So I'm assuming people with a mouse don't ever know, because if they're used to using a mouse in the menu, they're clicking the back button, right? But there is a binding for back in the menu.
That's not working.
Yes, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work on many screens. All the screens where you're like collecting care packages, a bunch of the stuff to do with Power Play, you actually have to navigate to the back button and then click the your number one button, whatever, accept, click the select button, it's probably called, the select binding, instead of pushing the back button. I have a dedicated back button because, of course, I have a million fucking buttons on my HOTAS, and it works in most menus because that's what it's fucking for. And somebody just, I don't know, for some reason, that's just not a global thing. It's not just a thing in the game where the back button just works. They actually have to code it individually into each menu. So anyway, if that's the case, then code it into those menus, please.
Yeah, please.
Stupid. Also, orbit lines in VR have been broken since before the Mandalay.
Nobody cares.
They only show in one eye, and it's horrible.
Just one.
Just play on monitor, man. Play on monitor with an Xbox controller like I do. It's the real immersive experience. Oh boy. Yeah. You know, if they do any of those next year, I'll be happy.
All right.
I'm already
one more.
happy for
one
me.
more.
Oh yeah. Okay, here we go.
One more. If we don't have any more, because this is the most important one.
Okay.
I really, really want FDev to unban Audacious this year.
From the Twitch streams.
Really?
This is gonna be your year, man. You're gonna be
so
back
sweet.
in Twitch.
I miss those Twitch drops.
I'm not sweet. I have an ulterior motive.
Oh,
they haven't been doing drops for a while now because the last few streams have been Planet Coaster coded, so that they could do drops for that game.
I played out all my options. I appealed it and got to know what's your ulterior motive, Oblivious.
I'm putting together a betting pool on how long it takes for them to reban you.
I knew it. And you know, whoever threw into that pool was like, I bet you it's not that long. They're gonna win.
What's the spread so far?
I just can't resist.
Oh, you'll like this story.
Yeah, when a majority of your behavior on the internet is a self-referential meta commentary on other people that act silly on the internet, it just doesn't come through when you type. So no one gets
satire that's too real.
It's no one gets the joke because the joke is like 4th level chess. And then I somehow get mad when people can't track through the internet that I am being silly. It's a very weird game I play.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Well, sure. I'll throw in. Frontier, please unban Audacious. I swear he was just making fun of the people who are super toxic on Twitch by being super toxic on Twitch, actually.
But when you read what I type, it does not seem that way.
Yeah, it's just satire so close that you literally can't tell which is the highest satire. So.
Yeah, it's so refined, it's almost full circle, where I am actually just a jerk.
Okay, side story to this. So you know how we have our commander name, we have our Discord names up there, and we'll have little tags next to them, like or LSN or whatever. And I don't know if you noticed, Dax, but I went on a campaign a couple of months ago. I changed mine and I put out my little tag next to it, unban Daxy.
Oh my gosh, I didn't notice.
On Twitch?
Oh yeah, on Discord.
Oh, okay, on Discord.
So it's on Discord. But apparently I violated a term with AXI because I got a little note from them saying that my commander name had to be changed, that I was violating the terms as far as what little tag.
Well, you can do that per server. So
yeah, I wasn't doing it per server. I was doing it.
Oh, you did it globally. Oh, I'm so honored. I'm even more honored that it bugs AXI in any way.
Yeah, I was going to say, Audacious would really love that.
Oh, I'm all over that. You are honor bound to change your Discord handle.
I think they said something to me about my name too. I don't remember if I obliged them. It's hard to believe that I would have. But
I hope you didn't.
I may have just ignored it and never posted there again.
I'm so sorry. I'm not making war criminals happy.
Jesus. Okay.
Scares me up at night.
So let's wrap this show up with a little bit of the community corner. Now I see here in my notes that the first item is the Distance Screws 3 expedition being led by Lark Shadow. And he has said that the mass jump has now been rescheduled for January 31st, which is Blooming Wind's birthday, but that's not why.
Yeah. The first day they scheduled it was a bank holiday, so we got to reschedule.
No. What happened was they scheduled it for like 10 days or something earlier than that. And I pointed out that the Mandalay doesn't go to public release until January 31st, and you're planning a fucking expedition.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
And they were like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. The bank holiday is such a deep niche frontier reference that I actually myself don't remember what it means, but I know that it was a joke. Something was scheduled and had to get rescheduled on a bank holiday.
I think it was an update. Got moved or something.
Because of the bank holiday.
Yeah, I've heard so much of the Mandalay and that there's just no equal. That for an expedition to leave just before it becomes available to buy,
it's a big fuck you to everybody without ARC's money.
it's the ultimate fuck you. Through your monocle and top hat.
We're an inclusive community. You can limp along after us with your stupid Asp Explorer.
Nice Diamondback Explorer.
We'll welcome you in your plebe ships.
Yeah. What does that fit? 1 ton of bio waste?
Oh, gross. Is there any other stuff I'm supposed to read? So I'm sorry. It's Blooming Wind's birthday. Happy birthday. They're going to do a mass jump. 7 p.m. Murica time. There are 6 time zones that America spans. So anyway, we'll figure that out later. Time of jump still being worked on. Okay, whatever. Lark. Clothing optional. What?
You should get his pants
I don't know if that was supposed to be read publicly.
Oh, it's just a note to me personally.
It's just
writing it.
It's kind of weird.
No, okay. It says time of jump is still being worked on, as are meetup events and shenanigans to have while we're out there. Prizes for events, including mugs, clothing, or other Loose Screws merch. We still need artwork. Maybe this will be the impetus I have to finally redo the merch store, because apparently the spring tee that we set this up with many years ago is extremely out of favor, and there's a ton of other like manufacture to ship things that apparently review much better now. So maybe I could do that and
just
lower the cost to people.
Just keep the leggings. Just keep the leggings.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff on there right now. Anyway, okay, so anyway, January 31st, that's when the expedition's going to set up. There's a thread in Discord about that. Buckyball kicks off in a few months. Alec Turner is running the event this year. In the meantime, and he said that he wants to get it all done by November this time, because running into December was funny business. Buckyball. Anyway, onward. In the meantime, Elite Racers have a series in the works to race SRVs around Thargoid sites. They are the ones who have actual live races, not time trials, not asynchronous time trials, synchronous races, which is fun. Running SRVs around Thargoid sites, so there'll be some stuff flying around probably. No dates as of yet. There's a link in the show notes. And finally, AXI and Xeno Strike Force are planning a blockade. It is happening this Sunday, the 12th, at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's my time. And it's happening at 22460, the site. I think we talked about this last time, but anyway, yes, the only place in the galaxy that still has a anti-Guardian module zone, as far as we know, anti-Guardian field. It looks like it's going to be a massive event, but they're basically going to just create an instance above the actual Proteus Wave device disaster site and kill anything that comes there. And there's a lot of stuff that comes there, because I went there a couple of weeks ago and got jumped by Medusas and stuff right away. So it's going to be great.
I'm going just for the server laughs. There should be a cluster.
I'll go and just to see how low my frame rate will go.
I'll go just to hold instances.
Oh, everybody's going to be holding instances. Also, I want to call out the Burr Pit, their video this past Friday. This most recent video, I actually can't remember if it was the Friday one or if it was another one. But anyway, their most recent video, not that all of their videos aren't fantastic, because they are, but I don't know. I came away from it thinking, again, it's another one of these that we've been doing, your wants and wishes and things for next year, and some analysis and discussion about that. You guys are a treasure. I love it. They do
really
such
are.
A fantastic job. It's bloody brilliant. Anyway,
well done, Bert.
Oh God, I got it. I was going to say more, but I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Liz Screws podcast. I hope you have enjoyed it. And much more to come on that in the future. I assume some news will spark up at some point, and we'll get some other things. We have some other kind of content pieces in the works that I think will be fun. One thing I will note is that on the last episode, we got into the weeds a little bit on some modules and engineering stuff. And every time we go off on that kind of thing in the podcast, I find myself feeling that I'm off topic and I'm like losing the audience, and I'm just having a conversation with my friend and I'm forgetting that we're recording this. But those are the episodes that consistently get feedback. So I am being told that I'm wrong about that, and I am hearing that feedback. So yes, I will just say that we have heard that, and so we'll probably be doing some more stuff like that because people seem to like it.
Great.
So there.
We live to serve.
And you. And so that leaves nothing left but to thank everyone again, and to thank Audaxius and Oblivious for joining me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And that's it. We'll see you next time. Good luck. Keep it loose and keep it screwy.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
We all work on a bone. See ya.